Hi, and welcome to Mark's Motivational Podcast for another Authors Tuesday. So I hope you are all keeping great. Thanks a lot for joining me. So today I'm delighted to be joined by another guest all the way from Chicago, Stefanie Potts. So she's an author called of a book called On My Way, a love letter from your new baby. So it sounds really good. I'm looking forward to speaking to Stefanie with this. So you're very welcome along today, Stefanie. Thanks a lot for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. So we'll probably start the podcast off if you want to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and about your writing, about your books, please. It'd be great.
So I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be a writer. And actually, I think that when my teachers from, growing up find out that I'm an author, they're shocked because I struggled as a reader and a writer in school, so that was not my plan. But so has it. I got married. I wanted to be a mom, and we had our first child, and then I wanted to have more children, but I struggled to have more children. So by the time I got pregnant again, my oldest was already like 4 years old. So my degree was in education. And what does every good teacher do but read books to help kids with transitions? So I was looking for the perfect Big Brother book. And there are a lot of really great books out there that explain the challenges, the changes to the family. But I really felt like they all lacked the relationship between the siblings. So right before I gave birth to my second child, I was like, I need a book that explains the relationship, that there's more to that. He's going to need his diaper changed, and you might have to grab a bottle for mom, and that there's this other being and it's going to be your friend and you guys are going to have a relationship. So I wrote it, and then I kind of just put it to the back of my, it got sucked into my computer somewhere. And then it just kind of sat there and kind of nagged at me for a long time. And so I did just I got it published. And funny enough, it was published. It was live the same day that I gave birth to my fourth child. So I actually was never able to use it for my own children, but I really hope that, it reaches other families and that they really foster that relationship from an early age.
Yeah, that's great. That sounds brilliant. A brilliant idea that came for writing this book. So that's brilliant, Stefanie. Well, what's the name of the book again for everybody's listening?
It's On My Way, a love letter from your new baby.
Great.
So it's as if the baby in the womb is writing to the big brother or sister in anticipation of the arrival.
Yeah, brilliant. And was that your first book you've ever written yourself, Stefanie? Was that your first book?
Yes.
Yeah. And did it take you long to write it?
You know what? It festered in my mind for many nights, and actually it woke me up for like a week straight before I wrote down. And I think I was waking up at like 2-3 in the morning every morning for like 6 or 7 mornings before I finally just put it in a computer, and it just came out. But I had thought of it in my mind so much, that I think it was just ready.
Great, yeah, that's brilliant. And so did you self-publish it yourself, Stefanie, or did you go down the original route, like to get a publisher?
So part of the reason that it took me so long it took me almost 3 years from the time that I actually wrote it till it was finally published. And I had a lot of anxiety about self-publishing. I had nowhere to start. I wasn't supposed to be a writer. That was not my goal. So I went down the traditional publishing route. I, reached out to many of the big name publishers, and I thought for sure, this is a fantastic idea. I'm going to, be a New York bestseller. Well, nobody knows my name, and I don't have any major story that was in the news. So none of the publishers really gave me the time of day. I don't even think that they ever read my manuscript, or, they're just like, who's this? So I looked at self-publishing, but again, it just was, just a little too much for me. So I actually found a hybrid publisher that publishes your book and helps you with marketing. But it's a self-published book. So I actually own all the rights to it. But they did everything setting it up for me, and then they helped me with marketing as well.
That's great, isn't it? It's great when you find something like that, because I'm in a similar situation. I've got somebody to help me as well, so that's brilliant. And that way you're keeping 100%. It's your book, like, so that's great. That's really cool. Yeah. So what I'm going to do for you as well, Stefanie, because I have your link to the book, so I'm going to share it on the show notes for everybody to find it as well.
Thank
So
you.
anybody wants, so make sure any that's listening to have a look and buy the book. So that's great. So
I really hope it helps young families.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, thanks very much. And your blog as well. Would you like to mention about your blog? It looks really interesting.
Sure. So I have a parenting blog, and it's called Purposefully Parenting 365. And so the whole premise of it is that really we should have a purpose to the way that we're parenting our children. There should be a reason for it, a reason in everything that we do. And we're not going to be perfect parents. We are not going to be able to be purposeful 365 days, but the goal should be that you are purposeful 365 days. So on there, I share some ideas of some things that you can be purposeful with your children. I share some of my family's own experiences, and I'm honest. I will tell you, like, I have messed up as a parent, but in messing up, I have to think about what happened, why did it happen, and how can I be purposeful the next time. So, I share my family's experiences, and we have 4 children, so we're busy and we have messed up a bunch, but our goal is always to be purposeful and to improve, so that we are raising well-rounded, good citizen children,
Yeah. I know that's great, because that's a brilliant service that you provide for anybody, because like everybody, like no matter who they are, they struggle. Some, like, if you're a first-time parent, or to have somebody who's giving you their experience to maybe learn from that. So that's really good, Stefanie, because they say that, like, there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. You can only improve when you make it.
Yes.
So that's a really good concept. So yeah, thanks a lot for sharing that with everybody in the world, as they say.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So yeah. Yeah, really cool. And how many? So are you working on any other books yourself, Stefanie, at the moment? Have you?
So I do have one going through the publishing process right now, and it is called You Are Mine, and it is actually it's like a prayer book kind of. It has some quotes from the Bible, and it's written for children, but I hope that it actually reaches anybody in need of some kind of guidance. So it is a child that is getting, it just kind of goes through and it talks about everything that God gives us. Like, God is our parent. He is our father and he is our parent. So all the things that God does for us, well, we should be mirroring that as parents. So everything that we expect from God or that God is giving us, we should be doing that same thing for our children. So it kind of just goes through this phase of all the gifts that we get from God and all the gifts that we should be giving to our children. So I hope that, it helps children understand the higher power, that God is our father.
Yeah.
I also hope that it helps any parents that need a reminder of what our duties are as parents. Because sometimes I think that we get so busy in our lives these days that we forget what our children really need. It's not all the materialistic things. It's our time. It's our being. It's being with them, being present, being there to listen to them cry. And it's okay for them to cry, but helping them through that. And then I also hope that it touches anybody that maybe has a strained relationship with the parents. So just because maybe your parent struggled, that doesn't mean that you don't have anybody that loves you, because God is always there. He's always, our father. So I hope that even though it's written for young children, that it can go along for any age, looking for that parent guidance.
Yeah, that's great, Stefanie, because it's so important, especially now, like what we're going through in the last 2 years, to have faith. It's very, I understand it's very, very important. Like faith can be like with all different religions, but it's always good to have some kind of faith, to to keep yourself grounded, so that makes so much sense. So thanks very much for that, Stefanie.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. And what kind of books do you like reading yourself? Do you have any favorite books you like to read yourself?
I do a lot of like inspirational books or devotionals. I don't have a lot of time, with having 4 children, so I need something quick and to the point.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
Devotionals are easy, and if I fall behind one day, it's easy to catch up. I don't have a lot of time to read novels or anything like that. So my big go-to right now is inspirational devotionals.
Great. And is there any books that you could mention that are your favorite that you've read over the last while? Is there anything that comes to mind that you could recommend?
So my favorite devotional that I go back to every year, because it really feels like it is speaking directly to me. It's called Jesus is Calling.
Okay.
And it's a devotional. They have something for every day of the year. There's a short paragraph and a verse from the Bible. And I kid you not, every day that I read it and every year, it is like it's talking directly to you. The way that it's written, and I don't understand how it works. I just don't. I don't, because it's always like, I could read it one year and it means one thing to me, and the next year I read the same thing the same day and it means something totally different. But it feels like it's talking directly to me.
Well, that's great when you find a book like that really helps you, and you can kind of make so much sense to you as well. So that's great, Stefanie, isn't it? It's really cool. Yeah, I suppose, could I ask you as well, in your writing, because this is a motivational podcast, so what kind of motivates you in your writing yourself to keep you going? Just say, for instance, if you ever kind of struggle with your writing, like hit a metaphorical wall, so to speak, is it what kind of helps you along?
I guess my biggest dream growing up was always to be a mom. I always wanted to be a mom, and I wanted to be a really good mom. And so that was the motivation for finishing this book. And although I didn't get to use it with my own children, I'm hoping that I can, motivate other mothers and help other mothers be the best that they can be. And so when I, come down to it and I have a really bad day, I always just kind of think, well, what is the purpose here? What is the main goal? So just reverting to what my main goal is. And oftentimes it comes back to my children and my family. And I certainly don't want to let them down. In fact, shortly before our call today, I was talking to my kids and I said, okay, mom has this interview and I have to be on here, and I'm going to need you guys to, just kind of watch a movie and have a snack for a few minutes so that I can get on this call. And they're like, oh, well, who are you talking to? I said, oh, well, a podcast in Ireland. My kids go, you're that famous? You're having a call all the way in Ireland? Like, they don't see me that way. They're just like, you're my mom. You're not popular.
Exactly.
So I'm still mom, but ultimately, I want to make sure that I'm there for them. But I also, I'm a mentor for Christ, trying to mentor other women back towards God. And that's what fulfills me. That's what gives me my life. And I love it.
Brilliant. That's great. That's well explained, Stefanie. Thanks very much for that. That's awesome. Yeah, really cool. And because my kids are the same. I've got 3 kids as well, so they're like saying, "You can't be cool," So. But
you're not that famous.
Exactly. Yeah, great. But no, this has been great. And I suppose as well, do you kind of have like when you're writing your books, would you have a kind of a structure or formula that you use yourself? Like, would you kind of write a certain amount of words a day, or what way do you work it yourself?
No, so I don't know, I have these ideas, and I just kind of sit down and I just write. And I may write it and then I may just leave it. And I'm not a writer that writes every day. I know that those are good resources and we should be writing every day. But I just, between baseball practice and school and everything else, I don't. So, but these ideas, they just kind of sit there and they fester in my mind. So I feel like I do a lot of my planning and my layouts in my mind, where when I finally get down to the computer to type it, it just is, it's ready because I've been thinking about it and reliving it over and over and over again. So yeah, I don't, mine's different, but I would say there's no one way to do it. And so if you are not, an everyday writer, you can still be, successful. You can still share your stories, because I feel like there's a purpose behind them. And if there's a reason that they're to be on this earth, they're going to come out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's great. Yeah. Because there's no wrong or right way, as you said, like because I interview different people and different authors all the time in this podcast, and they all have different ways. Some people write 100 words a day. Some people write whenever they feel it's the right time for them, so it's whenever inspires you, really, isn't it, Stephanie? That's how I feel myself. Whenever you're inspired, it's don't to put yourself under too much pressure, just to it's good idea just to kind of, when you're ready to do it, when you get the inspiration. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's great. And this is brilliant. Thanks very much for coming on, Stephanie. And I really hope that you're successful going forward with your writing as well, and your books. And
Thank you.
Is there anything else I haven't asked you, Stephanie, that you'd like to maybe say in the podcast tonight that you'd like to share with everybody?
Just check out my blog, and if there's anything that I can do to help anybody, that's what I'm here for. That's really my mission, as I want to build strong families. I feel like we've really kind of come away from that, and so that is my goal. And if I can help anybody do that, right here, that's what I'm all about. So
yeah, I'd love you to share the link to your blog as well, please, and I can put it on the show notes as well for people to check out.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. No, so this has been great, and just maybe one last thing. Do you have any favorite music yourself? Do you have any favorite music to listen to when you're writing, even, or do you ever listen to
favorite
any music?
Yeah. So I'm a big top 40s person, but I also like country music, and especially like the current country stuff. It's incredible the stories that some of those songs share. Yeah. And I actually was just watching a music video to a song that I've known for a long, long time, and I had envisioned the story one way, but from watching the music video, I got a totally different perspective. So there's more to music than just the sounds. There's actually a story being told there. So I love that.
Definitely, because they say it's the fastest way to tell a story is put in the song.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because hence I do a bit of songwriting myself, so I like to try that as well, But so this has been great, Stephanie, and again, I wish you all the success going forward with your writing, and it's been great talking to you on the podcast today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, thank you. So that was Stefanie Potts, everybody. And thanks a million again, Stefanie, for coming on. So join me again on Thursday for another podcast. So take care of yourself. Thanks again, Stefanie. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.